How's it going, everybody? It's the Pure Wolf here, and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. I almost forgot the name again, but I didn't, so it's okay. This video is probably going to be way late, like 9 o'clock at night, because that's about what time it is, so then rendering all that stuff. But it's just because I had a project that's due tomorrow in school, and it's a group project, so I was working with my group to finish it. So you'll have to forgive me about that. But as you can see, I'm finally back to this game. It's been like forever, I feel like. Okay, so also I'd like to thank both the lovely people in the comments that first off said that I won't have to be censoring this game, which makes me very happy, because I'm not that advanced in editing yet. You know, it's gonna take some practice. It's okay. Most of my practice is gonna be my Seattle vlog. I totally messed that up. It's okay. Don't mind my slurred words. I'm not drunk, I promise. Okay, and I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. So just thank you for the people that were telling me about this game. I really appreciate it, and explaining the Rena part. That was nice too. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm just going to continue. It's like, oh, alright then, eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. More precisely, none but Lana could have done it. It's been too long. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. You know, because of how her personality is, I'm guess she'll have fun if I attempt to take the cutlet, so I looked at her menacingly and was about to reach out my hand. See, I don't have it! And indeed, Yolna's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Lana returned and handed me a plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... What the? Some bug? No, not a bug. An insect! It got legs and it's wiggling. Oh. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my legs while falling. I disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Yolanda seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt like I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Smoking's bad for you. Yana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to camp. Oh, if you're lost and you can't get back to camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. Dot, dot, dot. Oh, how nice. I wandered for quite some time in the forest and even thought of crying for help, but I finally saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant that there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? This world seems too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it. an ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why... In any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had got here at all. And where this here was. Helps if I didn't stumble over my words. The fields and the woods, stretching towards the horizon, had no answers, and there was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct, self-preservation. I can't speak anymore. Okay. My self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple hours ago. Although I'd probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all, and only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be sometime later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? That's cool. It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. Hello, what are you doing here so late? It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. So you didn't catch Lana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointedly inside. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use of her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger. That sound effect was weird. But after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's all right. I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have the keys to all the facilities in the camp. In this camp. How come? Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here. I think this is aide. I don't know. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen and I'll come in a minute, all right? All right. I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour. And that somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to open the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Alyssa. Huh, fun. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something. Meaning... Help me open the door. Why? 'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough. Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Yana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. It's fine. Slavia will come now and... What? I guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me two already. Having said that, Alyssa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything all right? Yeah, why are you asking? No reason, it's nothing. It would be better if I didn't tell her about Alyssa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, Shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed to have not noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. This music's nice too. That's what part of the reason I like this game so much is the art is really pretty. The music's nice. I like the sound effects, to be honest. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass of kefir. No wonder, I bet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, just... She smiled. So how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in the different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright, he'll soon get used to it. Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I had no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me. But what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yeah. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to go. For where I wanted to get to. I can talk, I promise. And you're worried yourself. Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely. I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any of the other local inhabitants? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Normal. Not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on a public transport. Not like a coworker at the next table in an open plane office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them looked as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute? I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, and what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. What about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there, or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them, it is normal? Maybe I was thrown into the past? Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Dmitrievna's by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll study you with someone. What for? Probably this question seems stupid, because Slavia burst into a good-natured laugh. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. The music cut off. Fine, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night doesn't sound like a bright idea. Okay, so with this, taking the keys, I kind of want to do that, because if you take the keys, that way when you see her again, you can give them to her, and it keeps someone else, like Alyssa, from stealing them. And we don't want Alyssa to have the keys, because, I don't know, I don't trust her. But maybe that's because she's supposed to seem like that off the bat, so I have a feeling. But if you leave the keys, then, like I said, someone like Alyssa, I don't know why I'm pointing that way, but someone like Alyssa might take the keys. So, but if you take the keys, you might get in trouble. But we might need them later. I don't think you could, I don't know. Yeah, I'll take the keys. I better take them. I'll get them back tomorrow, because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me chills. It's me who needed to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and restless trees from elsewhere, everywhere, whatever. A sudden desire to follow Slava's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I can't talk. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl. Reading a book. I like this girl. She seems nice. Lana? I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person here I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lana was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. I've heard of that book. I feel like with her, because that's how you get someone like her to talk, is that if you comment on something that they might obviously like, or dislike even, it's a good way to start a conversation, because I'm very introverted and shy, so if it's like someone were to come up and say, oh, I don't know, if I'm wearing Supernatural, so, oh, you like Supernatural, I'd be like, yeah, and then there's a whole topic of conversation, instead of awkward silence, because I am very awkward. Okay, anyway. A good book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lana didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, never mind then. Well, if I'm bothering you. No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try to find out something out from her. Try to find something out from her. Okay. I carefully examined Lana. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to? Feel free. But if I'm bothering you, no, you're not. I can leave, just say. Everything's alright. Okay then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Lana hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. Me on a daily basis. I bet if Yolana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. I can read, I promise. Oh, do you enjoy being here? I recalled that Slavia's question and thought it would be a good start for a conversation. Yes. She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lana definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia. But there was something about her that attracted attention. Like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. It was very poetic and I messed it up. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but still felt so tempting. Lana was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence. I had no intention of asking her anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. How in the world would you start a conversation with her? It's late. I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she was a typical shy and modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lana took its own place in a massive list of mysteries about this camp, which I had started to put together in my head. A lazy evening, and there's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga Dmitrievna's cabin. The light in the house was on. Hello, Semyon. You're quite late. Yeah. I went for a walk to look around the camp. All right. You'll be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah, is something wrong? We were out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly. Yeah, I would too. With surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders. Olga Dmitrievna said strictly. Of course he would. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blither, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, Toots? This guy, annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults appropriately, whatever. Yes, of course, there's a lot of strange things here. But this girl is just a couple years older than me. Or maybe even younger. But I decided not to argue. Well, just a few minutes ago, I would have never called her an adult. I have to admit that she was also given a strong character. I can read, I promise. And in any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now, it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. This is a motto that Olga Dmitrievna was probably going to use. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brains had started a night shift. And they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. A bus through my mind. And the square with the monument. The canteen full of pioneers. And the malicious face of Yuliana. I'm going to say that name right the first time. One day. Slavia. Lana. And even recalling Alyssa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? And this is a perfect place to end this episode. At the beginning of day 2. Whew. This is gonna be a ride. This is gonna be a ride. Hopefully a good one though. Okay. I do like this story. I say this all the time. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be a mixture of like a mystery and a love story, and I kind of like that. So I'm just gonna see where this, takes me, I guess. So yeah, I'll see you guys whenever I post next. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll probably get going now. So yeah, bye guys.